But hurry up! This exclusive ShopX TV offer is available for a limited time only.
The preceding is a paid presentation by...
There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news. Stay ahead with the biggest news stories. Go beyond the news headlines. Experience impactful investigations. Enjoy resourceful news coverage in real time. TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. Live every day on this channel. TVC News, first with breaking news. At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Hello and thank you for joining us on the midweek edition of Journalists Hangout. I'm Benga Oreshegun. Today on the program, Governor Muftuang bans night grazing, cattle transportation and restrict use of motorcycles as death toll in Bokos. Basa killings exceeds 100. Adeburua demands immediate refund of 300 million naira River State grant to NBA. And later on the show, EFCC teams up with Interpol, launches full-scale investigation into suspected 1.3 trillion naira crypto fraud linked to digital investment platform, crypto bank exchange, CBEX. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Utitoju and Mayor Akinpelu. Journalist Hangout starts right now. Now let's begin the conversation. It is one thing for people to mourn their dead. It is another to live in fear of becoming the next casualties. The people of Plateau State, not central Nigeria, are currently battling both. Following the deadly attacks that left more than 100 people dead in Bokos and Basa local government area of the state, Governor Caleb Muftuang has announced stringent measures to restore order and prevent further bloodshed. In a statewide broadcast, the governor banned night grazing, prohibited cattle transportation after 7 p.m. and restricted motorcycle operations between 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. Indeed, desperate times call for desperate measures. Now let's hear from the governor.
I speak to you today not only as your governor, but as a fellow son of Plateau who shares in your anguish and feels the weight of the pain inflicted on our people. Let us be clear. This is not random violence. This is not an isolated conflict between farmers and herders. What we are witnessing is a systematic and premeditated campaign, one that seeks to displace, destabilize, and instill terror and fear on our people and communities. Security deployments are being reinforced, and Operation Rainbow is being restructured to support community stabilization efforts. To restore calm and strengthen vigilance, I hereby announce the following measures effective Wednesday, April 16th. Night grazing of cattle is strictly prohibited. Transportation of cattle by vehicle is banned after 7 p.m. The use of motorcycles is restricted from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. across the state until further notice. We're also activating community-based response systems. I urge the traditional leaders and youth associations to reactivate local vigilante groups and organize night patrols in coordination with the security agencies.
BKO, the Plateau State Governor has banned open grazing, cattle transportation, and also restricted the use of motorcycles at certain times. But BKO, talk to me. Is this enough to curb the attacks and also restore calm in Plateau State?
I doubt if this will stop the killings. It's unfortunate that in the communities where these criminal headsmen go to kill people, the roads are usually terrible, which makes it difficult for the armed forces to be able to respond swiftly to any distress call from those places. They usually do not attack even semi-urban communities. It is the rural poor, far-flung from the state capital, that they usually go to attack. They will burn their houses. I think as a country, it's time for us to do something about open grazing.
Okay.
This governor has not banned open grazing. He merely said, okay, you cannot transport cattle at night. He also said you cannot ride motorcycles after 7 p.m. And as he said, these are even temporary measures. So the headsmen militia is well organized. They are not based in our country, and sometimes they come from as far as Mauritania, usually in response to invitation by headsmen who feel wronged by host communities. Sometimes when these guys bring their cattle into people's farms, the victims can respond by poisoning cattle, leading to mass fatality on the part of cattle. And when you do this to them, they respond by sending the militia to come and kill people. We've got to do something as a country about open grazing. The former governor of Benue State banned open grazing, but he was maligned. They called him names. Even members of his own political party, the politically naive members of the ruling party, condemned Otom, and they called him all kinds of names. They always pointed at, he cannot pay salaries, but he can complain about killings. He can't do anything about killings. Now, we have another governor who has taken over in Benue. Has he stopped the killings? Have the killings, have they stopped? The answer is no. They're still murdering people in large numbers in Benue State. You go to the Agatu communities, people are still being killed. More than 13 local governments in Benue State, killer headsmen, criminal headsmen, they are still killing people. We had some respite in Benue, in Plateau.
In Plateau, okay.
And people were happy. Remember when the immediate past GOC of 3 Division in Jos, when he was leaving, the people even organized a sent forth for him.
Yes.
And they were praising that we've never had anybody like this, because he was able to stabilize the area. During the Najami Day celebrations that week, I traveled to Plateau State. I went round doing stories about female Irish tomato farmers. I did not go with a single security man. And I didn't do those stories in the state capital. I moved further inside without security. The whole area was calm. But now they are back to killing our people. We killed 52 persons overnight. At a time when we were outraged about the people who had been killed in Bokos.
Yeah, exactly.
You've gone to Basa to kill people. I mean, there's no way by which one can explain away these things. This problem has been there. Why is it that successive governments have been grossly incompetent at finding a solution? Why should people come, kill people, take over people's lands? In that plateau, where that governor was making this speech, many communities have been taken over and renamed.
Renamed?
Yes. I say it with God watching me and with the Plateau governor. The Plateau governor can't stand before me and say, Jide, you lied. Communities have been, hundreds of communities taken over, renamed. People chased away completely from their ancestral homes. Wow. How can a nation be run like this? And we are powerless to do something? Even in Benue, in the Kwande area, people cannot go back home. I once caused a documentary to be done in Benue State when when two clerics were killed in Umbalom. But politicians chose to play politics with that incident by claiming that, oh, it is the same Benue people that killed those clerics. But my documentary showed that they were killed by marauding herdsmen. We don't sit in our office to simply do stories. No.
We go there.
And they were killed by killer herdsmen. How much longer can this governor was crying? Crying is not the solution.
Absolutely.
Crying is not the solution. I can see why some people will push now and push repeatedly for state police. Because the federal policing structure has not solved this problem. The army has not been able to put an end to this nonsense once and for all. In fact, in some of the places where they kill people, they are not far away from military formations.
And yet this
and those killings
happens.
take place. And we say we know what we are doing. We certainly don't know what we are doing. If we allow people to be killed in this manner, human beings, not cows, not goats, you just slaughter them.
Nigerians.
Yes. If they've committed no offense, you just waste people.
Okay. All right. In addressing the root cause of this thing, now the governor, we saw him, during a state broadcast. Do you think the governor is doing all the right things that needs to be done, or is not doing enough?
I don't think the governor is doing enough, and I'll tell you why. Why is it taking, after so many people have been killed? That's when he's addressing the people of Plateau State, and he's saying, yeah, I don't want motorcycles after 7 p.m. That should not be carried on cattle until after 7 p.m.
But they've enjoyed peace for a year.
No, what I'm saying is this.
Yes.
When this crisis started, it is important. You see, some of these governors, their excuse is usually that, oh, they are only chief security officer of the state in name, that the police is not under them, or the security forces are not under them.
Which is the truth?
Which is the truth.
Yes.
But these same governors collect huge amount of money
for security.
As security fund. Huge amount of money, each governor. What do they do with that fund? Because, for example, if there is a crisis in a state, there are certain things you can do as a governor. One of those are things that you just done that you should have done immediately when that crisis started.
Okay, these measures that
you just put in place. That's number one. Number two, I expected that the governor, in solving the problem, will have different layers of security within the security architecture. One, you must be able to, because it is not possible for the security forces to be in every community,
Sure.
especially in those rural areas. What I expected the governor to do is, one, have a meeting with the traditional rulers in those areas.
Okay.
Tell them that they should mobilize the young people in that community, form a paramilitary force like the OPC that we have.
Okay, like a vigilante force
like
or
in
something?
Southwest. When you have those ones, because those ones are people that live within the community. Those people that joined, like you know, when OPC started in Southwest, most of them are maybe bricklayers, mechanics, and all that. But what is important is that they are local people.
Yes.
They understand that terrain. So they are the most important people when it comes to intelligence gathering, because they live amongst the people.
Yes.
That will be the first layer of security. They should be able to have the civil defense. Civil defense is now armed. We have civil defense corps in every state. What is the job of the civil defense corps?
But the governor does not control civil defense.
No. He doesn't need to control the civil defense, because you just need to apply to the commander to say, look, we want people to be deployed in these areas to serve as second backup. Then you have vigilante group. You have a vigilante group that you harm that will be able to be there. What you need to do is that it should not make it easy for these killers, the killers' S-men, to just come to every community and do whatever they like for a long time. There must be a force in place using your security fund that you have that must be able to pay those people. The vigilante people will be paid. They will be armed. They will be the first set of resistance. Then you can now have the security forces, police, army, and all that as backup, as rapid response force, so that when there is a crisis, while these people are trying to resist, then they can inform those people to come and back them up.
But remember, this is an age-long problem. Different administrations have tried.
You know why they've tried and failed? Because there's no political will. Everybody just playing lip service to it. Because let's tell ourselves the truth. The killer S-men, all these killer S-men are coming because some people complained that their cattle were killed.
Yes.
And they want reprisals. And these people belong to an ethnic group that are very powerful. So anytime people want to say something and said, oh, ban open grazing, there are people, powerful people within that cemetery group that will resist it.
Yes.
It's because there's no political will. Everybody knows what the problem is.
Yes.
All right.
And they know how to solve it.
Is this how it is known in other countries?
Bikil, 2 days ago.
You simply walk into people's farms
Exactly.
and be feeding their cassava, feeding their crops.
Destroying their
your
farmlands.
cows. Is that how it's done?
Is that how it's done?
I mean, if this is the way it's done all over the world, we'll have wars on our hands. Everywhere there won't be peace. Because I cannot work hard, cultivate my feed, and when it's close to harvest time, you unleash cattle to go and eat my crops. Even in Kogi State, especially Yoruba-speaking part of Kogi State, many people are reluctant to go to the farm anymore because of the activities of these people.
Okay. All right. We have Olusegun Oke calling from Lagos. Olusegun Oke, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Let's talk.
Yeah. Uncle Jide.
Yeah.
I greet you, sir.
Thank you, Segun.
Good evening, sir. I'm Uncle Mayor. I'm doing a great job. When Uncle Mayor was talking, he was talking of mobilizing youth. Uncle Mayor, these people are not coming with cutlass. They are coming with AK-47. How did they want to attack them? What did they want to use against these people? I think that is where the problem is. If they are not being armed, we see what is happening with these people in Ondo State. What's the name? These are Yoruba security, Amatekun. We know the challenges when Governor Akeredolu was there, when they were talking of giving them arms. If these people are not armed, they cannot face these challenges. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Now, where they attack, they say it's a 2 kilometers to the barracks. And they said you vote for the military people to mobilize today. It's not good.
All right, thank you.
These people cannot face them with cutlass.
All right, thank you. Now, Biko, today.
I agree with him that we really, if we want to defeat these people, first and foremost, let's use the Borno example. The civilian JTF.
Okay.
JTF.
It was civilian JTF that chased Boko Haram away from the city center.
Yeah, they did.
They were not originally staying in Sambisa. They were staying with the people.
Yeah.
Civilian JTF, because these boys know them, they grew up together, so they were identifying them and serving justice to them. They eventually had to take to their heels, and the Sambisa forest that had been neglected for years, that was where Abacha's strike force, BGs, they were being trained here. Abandoned. The terrorists now fled to go and hide. They were the ones who chased them out of Maiduguri. In those days, I remember the people building the Sheu's palace. They came and slaughtered everybody overnight. In those days in Maiduguri, if you are in a taxi and you speak ill of Boko Haram, before daybreak, they will have killed you in your house.
Really?
Yes, because they lived with the people.
Okay.
And you will never know somebody who is Boko Haram.
Now, in finding a solution.
But those boys knew them.
Yes.
And today, I've not even landed.
Okay.
Today, the civilian JTF is backed by law. They operate with the army. Some of them have even been absorbed into the army. I know that civilian JTF, they man checkpoints. You see soldiers at a distance. They are usually the first to go and check the vehicle because they know those boys. And if they raise an alarm, the military will move in and finish the job. So they work together. They work together. I know this. When I illegally traveled to Konduga, and I almost got arrested on my way back because I didn't get a military pass. I wanted, because that Konduga, on one particular day, Nigerian troops killed 64 Boko Haram in a battle. Because they were desperate to, once they were able to take that community, they will find it easy to enter Maiduguri. So Nigerian troops defended that area. It was
a strategic position.
It's very close to the University of Maiduguri, you know, and there was an IDP camp close by. So they wanted to control that place, take that community, and once they take that community, it will be easy to enter Maiduguri through Dalori, through the Unimade. Our troops stood up to them, slaughtered 64 in one day. I now said, I want to even, this town where they killed 64 Boko Haram fighters, I wanted to go there. So I left unaccompanied by security, except our reporter who is now dead, Kolomedala. You know, I saw that it was civilian JTF that searched our vehicle, Kolomedala's vehicle, the late Kolomedala. They searched our vehicle. Then we advanced further into the town. I posted pictures that I took on our way back. The soldiers now said, did you tell the CEO that you are going?
Exactly, that you're going
there. It was Kolomedala who now lied to the troops that there was a health outreach there that we wanted to assess the success. They will have locked me up.
Oh dear.
Because soldiers won't allow you to just go anywhere. If anything happens to you, they will say, where were they?
True.
So this is the thing. I'm saying that they work together.
They can work together.
And civilian JTF have lost so many of their men.
Yes.
Exactly.
Those who are saying we should not arm these people, they are the real enemies of our country.
I think let's
set up vigilantes backed by law and give them the arms that can enable them stand up to these good for nothing people.
That's what we need to do.
What are we talking about? You give them pump action. What is pump action to somebody who has an AK-47 and in some cases RPG? Have you not seen some of those bandits, Bello 2G's people?
Exactly.
You see the kind of weapons that they are carrying. Those boys will go all the way to go and buy weapons from the black market. They have APC, bandits using APC in our country.
It is.
And you say people should not get the right weapons to confront them. If you see the way bandits slaughter vigilantes in northern Nigeria, because they don't have the weapons to face them, they can kill 60 vigilantes in one attack.
Absolutely.
So we can't continue like that. Ask the governor of Zamfara State, how many of his vigilantes have been killed? They may not come out to tell us, but we know.
But we know.
Because every time those boys suffer a setback, they will come back to avenge the killing of their men. It's still happening. Even in Sokoto, it's still happening. The other day,
Okay. All right, Mayor, your final take. Apart from just weapons, I think technology should also be drones and everything.
We must, if there is a problem, we must identify that there's a problem and try to provide solutions.
Absolutely.
We should not just sit down and lament. A chief executive of a state should not sit down and lament and show helplessness. That's my argument. You must be able to find, because if there are people that are attacking communities, you must put things in place. If the soldiers or the security forces cannot be deployed to those places, then you must create a vigilante group backed by law that you must be able to harm, to be able to defend those communities.
You must harm them.
You must harm them.
Must
That's
harm
what you have
them.
to
There's
do.
no solution
If you don't
to
do
that.
if you don't do that, you're just deceiving yourself, because once people come and they are harmed and the people that they are attacking are helpless, there's nothing you can do. You just
states want to buy
time and time again.
States want to buy drones that they can use to monitor their forest.
Yes.
They will say you must get clearance from the NSA's office.
Those are the issues. But
so states can on their, I don't understand the kind of federalism that we are running. The kind of federalism that cannot ensure the protection of our people.
Absolutely.
It's arrant nonsense.
Exactly.
You have to go. If they don't give you
clearance from the NSA.
Even bulletproof
vehicles. I was going there.
You have to get clearance from the
NSA
NSA.
has so much to do to be bothering himself about those things. There are other things. You see, if we can't protect our people sufficiently, honestly, Nigerians will lose faith in the government. I'm telling you, there's no way the president has to be told.
That's the primary duty of
all right,
the president has to be told.
All right,
one way by which a government begins to lose the confidence of his people is when they permit this nonsense
kind of thing to go
killing
on.
innocent people in their sleep. They permit it to happen.
Absolutely.
It happened to Goodluck Jonathan. Students were murdered in their sleep. Federal Government College, Buniyadi, one school that even in a chess competition, they came tops. Very good school. Today, go to that school, nobody is even there anymore. Because the Boko Haram came and killed more than 40 students in their sleep. Some of them, they slaughtered.
All right, then. All right, we need to go on this quick break. And when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go anywhere. Still Journalist Hangout.
When you're low on energy and need a break, give yourself a treat. Cadbury Hot Chocolate. Smooth. Crafted from cocoa, milk, and sugar. Creamy. Chocolatey. Frothy goodness. Rich taste. So satisfying.
Cadbury 3-in-1 Hot Chocolate. The treat you deserve.
So why do you need Dettol 12-hour protective shield?
Why? Come, let me show you. From my husband's germ-filled journey to work, to his daily interaction, touching where everyone has touched, and the sweaty journey back home. What else can give you all day long protection?
Germs are everywhere, but Dettol's 12-hour protective shield shields your family every day,
keeping them safe, healthy, happy, and successful.
Dettol, be 100% sure.
All right, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. We still have Mayor Akinpelu right here and BKO. All right, let's move straight to our next conversation. The 300 million Naira grant paid by the Rivers State government as part of financial support for the annual General Conference of the Nigerian Bar Association NBA is ruffling feathers. But following the decision of NBA to move the conference from Port Harcourt to Enugu amid political tension in the state, prominent human rights lawyer Ebun Oluwadegorua, SAN, has called for the immediate refund of the money. Adegborough argued that the NBA has no moral or legal ground to retain the money as far as the independence of the judiciary is concerned. He also urged the NBA to be discerning in matters of fundraising. Now, a very respected human rights lawyer, Adegborough, is calling on the NBA to refund, the 300 million. Now, first of all, Mikhail, what do you make of the back and forth, between the River State government and the NBA?
I agree absolutely with Adegborough and others who have spoken. All decent lawyers that I know have advised the NBA to return this money. The ones that I know, that I also respect, GT Ogunye, all of them. You can't do this now. You can protest against the enthronement of a state of emergency. It's within their rights to protest. But everyone knows that when states give this kind of hefty money, it is also in anticipation of the benefit that the state will also get. When you host such a big event, do you know how many hotels would welcome the delegates? I moderated NBA conference 2 years ago on the security, the session on security. I moderated it. They packed velodrome in Abuja. The hall is probably one of the largest people that I had to face since I've been doing this job. The hall was filled to capacity. Now, there were so many people outside, all kinds of businesses that people are doing. The ripple effect of hosting this in a state is huge. So states do not just give such hefty money for nothing. They know what they will get in return. To give the impression that, oh, it was just a gift. I mean, let the leadership of the NBA even show integrity, moral strength, as tiny as a mustard seed, and admit that in this case they goofed. You cannot. At the time when Rivers paid for this, did they also consult? Did they also walk up to other states to say, okay, give us, we need money, support us? So somebody pays you 300 million, expecting that they will get some benefits in return. You now take that money to go and benefit another state, and you will talk as if you assume that you are making sense. Do you get the point that I'm making?
Yeah, I do.
I gave you this money because I expect that the state will get a lift in terms of the economy. Businesses will boom during that period. Nigeria hosted what was it called? Festac.
Okay, 77.
Look at the change that happened to the Nigerian landscape, even at that time. So those estates are still there. Do you know how many buses that we bought to host that thing? Schools, they donated those buses to schools. Even my school got one of those luxury buses. So when you host something like this, you expect to get something in return. Even the dumbest of governors will not simply give as much as 300 million when he thinks that, okay, it may eventually go to another state. I mean, they should tell us a different story. As I said earlier, they are free to say, okay, President Tinubu came up with emergency rule. Because he came up with emergency rule and brought IBAS, we are not taking the we are not
the hosting.
Yes, we are relocating the hosting. It will be within their rights. They are not the only people who oppose emergency rule. I also do not agree, and I'm not afraid to say it. And I stand by it, even though some people somewhere deceive themselves that I didn't stand by what I said. But before Nigerians, they knew that I stood by what I said. I stood by what I said on record. And I'm saying it again, that I stand by it. So that it becomes clear to those deluded people that I stand by my views on the emergency rule. But you must return this money. Except if they have spent it. I won't be surprised if they spent it.
They must go and look for it and return it.
Return their money. Return their money. Let Enugu State that you want to host
go and
collect it from Enugu now. Give it back to these people.
Okay. Now, Mayor, this money belongs to River State government. To protect the image of the NBA, should they return the money?
No, it's not that it's to protect the image. Personally, I'm embarrassed for the leadership of NBA. Because you see, yes, I'm embarrassed for them. Because what they are doing is they are bringing such an important organization to
disrepute.
Because he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. You collected 300 million that could do so many things for the people of River State. 300 million can do so many things. Schools, water, so many things for the people of River State. But the governor of that state believe that in you bringing your conference to his state will have a lot of multiplier effects in that state.
Yes,
he give you that money. For whatever reason, you don't agree with emergency rule or whatever, you said you are moving your conference to another state. A decent leadership will not be asked before they return that money.
Now,
but to ridicule themselves, they now say, oh, we are not going to return that money because it's a gift. You know why it's so shameful? I will share an experience with you.
Okay.
The treasurer, the accountant of Lagos Sheraton Hotel stole so much money. When the auditors saw that this guy stole so much money, police went to that guy. The guy was living in a room and parlor.
Okay.
Somewhere. So where did you put all this money that you stole? The guy was donating this money to church.
Yes.
Buying
generators for church.
Buying generators, giving them money. They wrote to
money
this
that
church.
Is not his money.
They wrote to this church to say that the man that was giving you people money and buying generators for you guys
stolen money
that was stolen money. The church said, no, we cannot return it because it was a gift. We didn't ask the guy to give us.
Mayor.
How can MBA?
If it was US.
How can MBA said, oh, we will not return the 300 million because it's a gift?
Mayor,
it's so ridiculous.
There are questions people have been asked.
Yes.
Was there a legally binding document that, okay, this 300 million was for the whole thing, right?
So, come on.
No, that's what.
No, let me tell you
why
they said it was a gift.
No, let me tell you why that
people just go around giving.
No, let me tell you why that. No, let me answer that.
Out of Lagos, did they take that kind of money?
Let me answer that.
Yes.
Let me answer that. Let me answer that. You said you wanted to do a conference in a state.
Yes, you approached him.
Okay.
You understand? And then you fixed that you want to do it in a state. And because of that, you claim now that the person gave you a gift. Right? Agreed. The person gave you a gift based on the fact that you wanted to go and do your conference in a state.
Yes.
When you now took a decision to take that conference, that was the reason why the guy gave you a gift, according to you, 300 million naira gift. When you now decided that you want to take your conference to another place, if you have decency, a president of Nigerian Bar Association, an organization that's supposed to be the conscience of the nation, that's supposed to be able to tell the nation to apply the root of constitutionality, will now say that, look, we are not going to return that money because it's a gift. And you are saying, and this money is not a personal money of the governor.
It's the state's money.
It's the state's money. And then tomorrow, you will criticize the governor of the state that they are not doing the right things. When you too can collect 300 million of the state money, our patrimony, and then you will now appropriate that. And the excuse will be that it is a gift.
It is a gift.
It is a conditional gift.
It's a conditional gift.
It is a conditional gift.
Yes, it's conditional because that gift came hefty because of the fact that you want to host. And what people are saying is, what is even this? If it was not, if you did not come to him, if you did not approach him to say, host us, he will not give you that much.
Of course.
And that's why we are saying we are challenging them. How many state governors did you go to? How many state
Well,
governors?
that's for NBA to let us know
yes,
if they
are
actually
listening.
did.
Now they are listening to me. How many state governors did you go to? At the time you went to him, did you approach Benue, for example? Did you approach Edo?
Or Lagos?
Or Lagos?
Or Lagos.
So we would like to know whether those ones too gave you money. You went solely to him because you made up your mind that you wanted to host there. And because that is a state that has got tremendous resources, the governor gave that money. That money is not his money. It's not Fubara's money. It is the money of Rivers people. So you cannot deny Rivers people the opportunity for businesses to benefit from hosting the agency with money that was given to you, money that belonged to them.
Now,
so you now want, after you now go to Enugu to go and help boost the economy of that state.
Something that was supposed to benefit Rivers, you're taking it to Enugu.
You've cheated Rivers. So morally, we are not, they may not write anything, agreement because lawyers exploit all those little things. We are saying that a person or the leadership of the NBA should behave like moral giants.
Now, do Rivers State
listen
government
to me. Let me, no, before you talk.
Okay.
The leaders of the NBA must behave like moral giants. They must not behave like moral Lilliputians. And for that reason, return this money, get the governor of Enugu State to return what the suspended governor of Rivers State gave to you, because he gave to you for a reason. The hosting. You are talking about there's no hosting rights. Absolute rubbish. Don't say there's no hosting right. He gave that money for the purpose of hosting the thing. If you didn't tell him that you wanted the state to host it, will he give that much money?
Of course.
Okay,
did he give you like that kind of money last year?
The Rivers State government says it will take legal action.
They should go ahead.
They should do that.
Since the NBA wants to embarrass itself,
yes.
it will go down. It will go down in history that this leadership of the NBA dragged the name of the lawyer's body in the mud.
No, BKO, the thing is, if they take NBA to court, under what contractual agreement?
No, not contractual.
Will the Rivers State government base its argument if they take this matter to court?
There are some unwritten agreements or understanding.
Yes.
There are some understanding because, for example, this thing has happened before.
Talk to me.
When there was a time that Rivers State, when Wike was governor, was supposed to host the convention of the People's Democratic Party.
Okay.
And then they now decided along the line, they suggested that they wanted to take it from Rivers to another place. And Wike told them that they cannot do that.
Yes, I remember.
Because they have committed money to hosting that thing and that they cannot take it elsewhere.
Yes.
He insisted that they cannot take it elsewhere. And they had to do it in Rivers. So if you say you want to do your conference in my state, and you approached me, this man didn't give them this money 2 years ago or last year. You understand? So you said you wanted to hold a conference in my place, and because of that, I gave you support.
Okay.
It's a support. They say it's a gift. It's a support to say we want you to be able to be in a position to organize this your conference so that we can have that economic multiplier effect in my state.
True.
If for whatever reason you decide that you don't want to come to my state again, I don't even need to ask you if you have
honor. If
you have honor, you are the one that will say, we are sorry, we don't agree with this emergency rule in this your state, so we are going another place. Take your money back. But because the problem is that all these hypocrites, they spend their money.
They may have spent it.
The money itself, a lot of people are not aware.
What even saying is, why are we even going to politicians? We have enough lawyers who pay their check-off dues and know that we should be able to finance our annual general conference on our own. Why are you going
able to do that?
Exactly. Why are you going to do that? All right, be able to do that. Why are you going to politicians up and down?
And then
now, how will you be able to criticize them?
All right, gentlemen, let's move straight.
No wonder NBA didn't see anything wrong in 3 individuals running a house.
Yes.
House of Assembly.
Yes. passing the budget and bills.
Whereas it's unparalleled anywhere in the world. I've been saying it here that I dare anybody to tell me where that has ever happened. Nobody will be able to tell me that 3 individuals will sit as House of Assembly in a state anywhere in the world.
Well, I'm glad the Supreme Court has actually, talked about that extensively. But let's move straight to our third and final conversation. When people chase quick wealth without asking the right questions. They often walk straight into traps dressed as opportunities. That is at the center of the digital investment platform Crypto Bank Exchange, CBEX. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has teamed up with Interpol to probe a suspected 1.3 trillion naira cryptocurrency fraud linked to CBEX. This follows the recent collapse of the Ponzi scheme, which left thousands of investors stranded. This was after CBEX locked investors out of their accounts and demanded additional deposits before access could be restored. Okay, Mayor, let me start this way.
I don't have any sympathy for all.
Hold on. First of all, EFCC now, they are teaming with Interpol, but should the victims be blamed for this charge?
Of course, yes. Because they are greedy people. Yes, greedy. It is, you see, this is not the fault. You know, sometimes you can say that, oh, it was unfortunate, I thought it was okay, and all that. This thing has happened in this country more than 10 times, more than 20 times. That I have seen people that will come with this same Ponzi scheme. Do this. It has been happening since the time of Forum. When Forum started Finance House. It has been happening and time again. People fall victim to this thing because of their greed. Somebody will come and tell you cock and bull stories that if you invest this thing, we'll give you 100% by this time. And these jokers will continue to take their money there. In this case, they will go and change money into dollar and give some dollars. Some jokers. And then they will not do that.
Is it greed or lack of proper information?
It is greed. No, it is not proper information.
They don't have the proper information about it.
I said it has happened more than 20 times.
Anybody that promises you 100% return on investment, what kind of business do you do that you get 100% return on investment? You should know that it's a scam. You should know that it's a scam. It's a Ponzi scam. You should know.
Now.
There are so many. Look at the girl, a young girl and her husband that scam people in Abuja. They finally fled. In fact, somebody posted something because he said he was warning them they won't listen. They were abusing him on Facebook. So he reposted an earlier post where he was warning them. But Nigerians won't listen.
But another thing is, should the anti-graft agencies will also be blamed
because
for not enlightening Nigerians?
Because
I believe they know.
It's not their business to enlighten you. It's not their business to enlighten you. It is not their business. No.
NFIU,
their business is not to enlighten you. No.
It is not, because this thing has happened several times. People have done this thing time and time again. MMM, everybody.
Yes.
Everybody has been doing that scam. But it's the same thing, and they will just collect money from these people, use it to pay the first set of people coming in, and then collect money from another set of people, use it to pay the ones that they do, and they just do that just to keep sucking you in. They are not investing their own money at all. Their money is not there. They will just collect money from another set of people, use it to pay the first set. Another set of people will pay. They use it to pay the next one that is due, and then more people will come in. More people will come in, and then they wait for some time, and then they will just bail.
SEC.
Securities and Exchange Commission.
You must first find out whether such platform is registered.
Okay.
In this case, SEC has confirmed that CBEC was not registered. So where do you even start from? It was not registered, and you put hefty money in it.
In dollars, so?
In dollars. Now you are lamenting, you have your hands on your head, because those guys used fake, they gave the impression that they had ties to Canada. And what they committed was identity fraud. So they have no ties to the Chinese, no ties to any Canadian company.
Those guys are in somewhere now.
Nigerians who thought that, because they had ties, and did not know that they actually were involved in identity theft and all that. They've invested so much in them. Those guys, they've made sufficient money, and they now decided to wind down the platform. Then you started 1.3 trillion. Then you ran to the place and started looting tables, looting chairs.
But now that EFCC has now
you are still standing rugs.
Yeah.
Come on.
Now,
how much does that amount to?
Let me tell you
now, EFCC has linked up with
EFCC.
Do you think the victims will get redress?
They will not get any redress. Don't ask me that question. Nobody they won't get any redress.
Why are you doing like
this?
We
are dealing with fraudulent
because
people.
They've linked up and they will investigate and all of
the EFCC will only promise.
The guy that have done this thing, his portfolio is just a suitcase thing.
He has left Nigeria.
The money is in the air. It's a suitcase thing. The guy will be somewhere.
They will have been perfecting how they will leave the country. They will have been perfect how they will leave the country, a long time ago.
Yes, now.
So you will not expect it. They will just disappear into thin air.
They will move the
Look
money
at that
offshore.
girl
There's
now.
so many places you can
Look
take
at that
money
girl
that you can't trace. They put the money offshore. The guy will go and sit somewhere enjoying himself for some time. After another 3-5 years, they come back again and create another scheme and collect money again.
And Nigerians will still
do it.
But yes,
because there are a lot of greedy people.
But Nigerians, for us not to get vulnerable, I think anti-graft agencies.
People leave anti-graft agencies.
Every Nigerian,
as I always say, go after who?
These companies that are not registered. I believe they will have the list.
How would they know?
So how many companies would they be going after? Do you know how many people are scamming Nigerians in a day? How many people can they catch? You see, you must show a sense of responsibility to yourself.
Yes.
As I always say, every individual is responsible for the decisions that he makes.
True.
Absolutely.
Because decisions have consequences for good or for bad. So every individual is responsible for the decisions that he takes. Every individual is responsible for his emotions. If you can't control your emotions, you will pay for it. In this case, people are just, they want to make quick money. It's the same thing that pushes people to kill their girlfriends for Yahoo now.
Yes,
because you want quick money. So an innocent girl comes and you asphyxiate her. And somebody tells you that, okay, some body parts can transform into millions, and stupidly you go and give your girlfriend's body parts to people. It's the same thing. We all, young people today in Nigeria, look at this. The people badly affected are young people. This thing. Look, a lot of the people crying all over are young people. Everything that they can do to mobilize money, they've done. And a bunch of idiots has taken away their money. You cannot, when people promise
it has happened more than 20 times.
Yes, MMM. Yes. I know someone even in our company that was defrauded during the MMM thing.
I was also defrauded 4 years ago. MBA Forex.
MBA Forex.
Okay.
I was.
I understand that. That's why you want to blame EFCC. Whom did you blame at that time when you were defrauded?
Well,
did you blame yourself?
I thought maybe it was okay. The return on investment was huge. Let me double.
That is the thing.
That's
I thought mine was, I think, lack of information.
That's what I'm saying. That the style, they will first pay you. It's just to draw you.
And they will pay you for bringing others.
They will pay you. They will encourage you to bring others. They will pay you commission. It's just for more and more people to come in. They are playing on that greed, because when you invest 100,000. And somebody gives you another 100,000. Oh, you will think, this is good.
Like
then you take the 200,000 there. They give you 400,000. You will tell everybody, I've been making money.
I know someone.
And then when everybody now put everything, you now put the whole 400,000. This one put his own. They will now say thank you, and they go.
I know someone who convinced the mother to put the gratuity into it, and they closed down.
See, how can anybody be dumber than that? The woman sweat.
Gratuity immediately she got it.
Church members, I was watching.
And you say that is not great.
Some church members were saying that people were convincing them in the church to do that, to do this, to do that. How can you?
The people convincing them were doing that in view of the promise.
Yes, of commission.
Of commission.
Yes.
Now, in rounding up this conversation, so that Nigerians don't fall to it again. Once
they
these
will
things
fall to it again.
Okay, but
that's a prediction that will never
it will happen
come to
again.
pass.
Okay, but
they will fall to it.
But for the
as long as there are
ones,
still greedy people in our country,
what should they look out
they
for?
will still fall for it. Greedy people in our country, we will never be short of greedy people in our country.
We will never be short of greedy people.
So those greedy people, they will still do it.
My own argument is that any Ponzi scheme is a fraud. Any Ponzi scheme is a fraud.
Okay.
it cannot work.
Anybody
it has never
promising you
worked.
Promising you
100% ROI, return on investment, run away.
It's a fraud.
Run, oh.
Okay, we have Shola from Ikorodu. Shola, let's talk. We're almost out. Talk to us. Hello, Shola, are you still there? Okay.
You hear me?
Yes. In just 30 seconds, quickly.
All right. Babajide, I greet you.
Thank you, sir.
I greet the three gentlemen in the studio. Babajide, let me tell you this. This is stupidity.
Honestly.
It is stupidity.
Of the highest order.
In the highest order. And greed. Let me tell you, 100% of this scam is going on social media. It is in Telegram, WhatsApp, this Bitcoin, cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
There are so many of them that are fraud. And you see our people online changing their naira to dollar, saying we are buying this.
All right.
After a while, maybe like 2, 3, 4, 5 months,
all right,
they
thank
gather
you.
a lot of dollars, they bring down the platform.
All right, thank you.
There is one that I entered, they call it Auto, not Lotto. Auto. These people introduce this program that you invest a certain amount in so time, you collect this.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. I think it's a fine place for us to leave it, but Nigerians need to learn. Nigerians need to know that
they will
once
learn the
they
hard
come,
way.
they learn the hard way.
Yes.
They learn the hard way.
They will learn.
They will learn.
They will learn.
And
They will learn the hard way.
I just hope they won't fall into this.
In very dark man's
In very dark man's way. But anyway, me, I can appreciate you as always. Thank you so much. BKO, it's so good to have you back. You look fresher. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Be deceiving me. That's how CBEX deceived my people. Huh?
And that's it on Journalist Hangout today. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. Join us on Sunday for the longer version of Journalist Hangout from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga Oreshegun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Tired of spending endless hours in the kitchen? Struggling with bulky appliances? Cooking should be a delight, not a chore. Tired of messy cleanups from kitchen tools that never seem to perform as expected? Do you wish there was a single solution to handle all your blending, chopping, and grinding needs? Introducing the Cook X 4-in-1 Blender, the ultimate kitchen tool to revolutionize your cooking. It's a food for 50 Naira. That's a saving of over 100,000 Naira. And remember, you won't just be getting the blender. There is more. Order now and you receive a premium knife set valued at 30,000 Naira. Absolutely free. We'll also deliver the Cook X 4-in-1 blender to your door for free. But hurry! This flash sale is for a limited time only. Stock is running out fast, so don't miss this opportunity to upgrade your kitchen at an unbeatable price. Call now while stocks last.
Proceeding is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello, what time did this happen? We will be right there.
At TVC News, we follow the big and major news, gathering the facts, witnessing the outcome.
I am here live at the aftermath of the approval of the new national minimum wage.
We are TV station of the year, not just for breaking news, but for being first, fair and accurate. TVC News. First with breaking news.
And in our program today, National Orientation Agency alleges frustration of students' loan disbursement by banks, universities. Which academic and financial institutions are involved? What is being done to correct this development, which is threatening the success of the scheme? Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Lanre Saunilu, will be joining me as we dig beyond the headlines for answers. Welcome to the program, everyone. I am Abosadi Adenio Adiremi. You can join the conversation on X at TVC News NG. Tag Beyond the Headlines and Prof. Bosse TVC. Now, let's run you through some major headlines across the country. And we're starting off in Plateau State, where the governor, Caleb Mutfwang, has placed a ban on night grazing across the state. Governor Mutfwang addressed residents in a statewide broadcast earlier today, where he condemned the continuous killings in some communities. He assured that his government is alive to its constitutional responsibility of protecting lives and property more than ever. He also sent a message to the killers and their sponsors, emphasizing that their evil will not go unpunished and that Plateau State will continue its rise.
I speak to you today not only as your governor, but as a fellow son of Plateau who shares in your anguish and feels the weight of the pain inflicted on our people. Let us be clear. This is not random violence. This is not an isolated conflict between farmers and herders. What we are witnessing is a systematic and premeditated campaign, one that seeks to displace, destabilize, and instill terror and fear on our people and communities. Security deployments are being reinforced, and Operation Rainbow is being restructured to support community stabilization efforts. To restore calm and strengthen vigilance, I hereby announce the following measures effective Wednesday, April 16th. Night grazing of cattle is strictly prohibited. Transportation of cattle by vehicle is banned after 7 p.m. The use of motorcycles is restricted from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. across the state until further notice. We're also activating community-based response systems. I urge the traditional leaders and youth associations to reactivate local vigilante groups and organize night patrols in coordination with the security agencies.
In Benue State, the death toll from Tuesday's attack on Otobi community in the Akpa district of Otokpo local government area has risen to 11. Deputy Governor of the state, Samuel Ode, visited the community earlier today on behalf of the state governor. Governor Hassan Salia also addressed journalists where he assured that security agencies have been deployed to the community.
As the NSA just assured me last night again, they are going to put again in place in our support everything that requires to be done. There are certain people who were even born on the land. They are of the herders' ethnicity. A few arrests were made sometime last week. I can't be too open on these because they're already the security people are handling that.
Well, let's now turn our focus to, today's show, really. Managing Director of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, Akintone Sawyer, has issued a stern warning to institutions that fail to inform students of loan disbursements made on their behalf, while still demanding payment of institutional fees from the same students. In a statement he personally signed, indicates that recent findings by NELFund have revealed that some institutions, after receiving students' loan disbursements directly into their account, have neglected notifying the affected students or reflecting the payments in their school fee records, creating unnecessary confusion. Professor Sawyer emphasized that NELFUND's mission is to expand access to higher education by relieving the financial burden on Nigerian students and their families in line with the vision of President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda. He further called on all institutions to uphold transparency and work collaboratively with the fund in ensuring the efficient delivery of this national mandate. Joining me on the program today is Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Lanre Issa-Onilo. Good to have you join us on the program. Help us make sense of this allegation. In what ways are banks and university officials complicit in this development, that in this mega fraud that is rocking the student loan scheme?
Yeah, I really didn't get the question. Please, can you take that again?
Yes, I'm asking you to help us make sense of the development. Help us understand exactly, how this operates. In what ways are the academic and financial institutions complicit in this mega fraud that is threatening the very life of NELFUND?
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. It's quite unfortunate. It's supposed to be a simple process, that ought to bring relief to the students, the parents, and even the schools. But what we have realized is that schools will get this disbursement from NELFUND, and for several months later, they will hold on to the money without notifying the student. And then they put pressure on the student to go and still pay before they can write their exams. So you have the fund already paid to the school on behalf of the applicant, and yet you refuse to acknowledge that, and then the students still go through the hardship, of having to tell their parents or guardian to go and look for money. So we discovered that a number of institutions, actually many of them, are involved in this. So they hold on to the money, they charge them some fees, which ought not to happen, even for processing the student loan. There's no way they would be able to do this without some banks, conniving with them. This money is not meant to be fixed. It is meant to serve in lieu of the tuition that the students ought to pay. And that's what the student loan is all about. And so in the process of our routine feedback mechanism, because part of our mandate in NOA is to generate feedback for government. And our community orientation and mobilization officers going around and doing their job found out that this was going on. So the first thing we did, which is the normal way we go about our work, was to engage with the agency concerned, in this case, NELFUND. That is what we have found in the field. What do you know? And it turned out that they are actually aware of this, and they were already taking action on it. So, but we felt it was important for Nigerians to know. It was important for students also to know that this is what is going on. And it was important for the schools to realize that they are being watched. And they are not going to go scot, doing this. We felt the students' union, the NANS, and even ASU, have role to play in this. So that is why we came out, with the information. But
so tell us,
I can assure you that further actions are being taken.
All right, we'll get to the action. So tell us, which financial and academic institutions are complicit? Give us their names.
Well, it's not within our own responsibility as National Orientation Agency to do that. We have turned in what we have to NELFUND, and we are aware that NELFUND is taking further actions on that. Even this morning, I got an information from a parent that reached out to me that his two children since September last year were supposed to have been given, they get the monthly stipends of 20,000 naira, yet the school refused to acknowledge that the tuition had been paid. I contacted NELFUND, and today NELFUND discovered that the money had been remitted since September last year, and the parents are still paying. So we are supplying.
But Mr. Issa-Onilo, very quickly, tell us, what is the name of this school you're talking about here?
The name of who?
The school that you're talking about.
I said we have turned it to Nelfond, and Nelfond is taking action on that. So perhaps you may get all that information from Nelfond. You know, we have our own role, which is to ensure that we get feedback to the relevant institutions of government. We have done
but you know, that when people are aware, then it helps them to know what to do. It helps them to be aware, to be alert, and to know the steps they can actually take to protect themselves.
Yes, I'm sure Nelfond is up to that. Let me tell you what has happened in the last few days since this came to light. First, Nelfond has developed an application now that students can actually track from application to disbursement. So they will know when the money gets to their school. That has been sorted out. Nelfond, as I speak, is putting the anti-corruption agencies on notice. And I'm sure they will not do that without supplying them the details, which is their own responsibility.
All right. And, you know, before you mention that, but I was going to ask you why, you know, it has to be this cumbersome. Why is it that the Nelfond has to communicate to the school and not communicate the same information to the student? Because they definitely have their contact details. Why was that not the process before all of this, you know, came to the fore?
Yeah, actually, when the students log into the portal of their school, they will see Nelfond on it. But once the school deny that they have not received it, there is nothing the student, you know, will be able to do if we didn't come across this information and then we're able to raise this alarm. So, but that has been sorted now. And, you know, this is a learning process. It's a new policy. Through implementation, then you begin to see areas where you need to tidy up things. And as that's why I said in the last few days, now there's an application where students can actually know every detail, on including the day the money arrives in their school.
Director General of the National Orientation Agency. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Please stay with us on the program. Tonight, we're digging beyond the headlines to unravel mysteries surrounding the allegations we're hearing coming from, Nelfond and the National Orientation Agency, accusing some academic and financial institutions of frustrating their students.